Cortes, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We are concluding the AFC West, and we're moving on as we're talking about the team that might be the last in the West, as we talk about the Denver Broncos 2024 draft picks. Broncos country, let's ride. Yay. Denver. You guys are once again at it by drafting the quarterback that many think is not going to do anything. Sounds like Tim Tebow all over again. Or is back. Or is it Paxton Lynch? Or is it Brock Off? No, or is it... No, it's nothing. It's never nothing. You guys had no choice. We all knew that. You guys had no choice in your quarterback situation. Yes, there were talks about potentially you guys were trading up to potentially get a better quarterback. But we all knew that those that wanted a quarterback were like, no, my precious. So, of course, you had no choice. And you couldn't say no. So, let's do this. With a heavy heart. With the 12th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos had to select Bo Nix, quarterback, Oregon. I am a Bo Nix supporter. I like Bo Nix since he was a freshman in Auburn. I like Bo Nix when he went to Oregon, and I like that he was succeeding. I like that he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. I liked everything about him. Yes, I know he's old. Yes, I know he's not considered that great. But by golly, I am rooting for Bo Nix's success. Because let me ask the AFC West supporters out there. Who is the worst quarterback in the AFC West? We know Mahomes and Herbert are the top two. Is Aiden O'Connell better than Bo Nix? Or is Bo Nix better than Aiden O'Connell? Fair question. I think they both have the same level of confidence by their own fan bases. But Bo Nix is the quarterback for it, and I have to trust that Sean Payton will find a way. He will find a way to make it work. Now, I believe none of us are expecting the Broncos to be even remotely a threat in the AFC West. I think we all can be confident with that. We don't think they're going to make some noise. But if Denver can split with their opponents in the AFC West, that should be hopefully confidence for the future. If Bo Nix, granted, Bo Nix has to be, well enough, not like, Mahomes throws 10 interceptions, that's why they won. No, I mean, like, if Bo Nix against Herbert, Colin, and Mahomes can play well enough to lead the Broncos to victories against those three teams and at least split, 3-3, then I'm going to say that there is hopefully hope for Bronco fans thinking that Bo Nix could be the answer. And hopefully the year after, they could develop even more with more talent. Denver is a team that I feel like they've been trying to rebuild with the Peyton Manning saga, and it has not worked. Bo Nix was the ultimate, like, enough. Yes, I know the Sean Payton was like, I always wanted Bo Nix all myself. I wanted Bo Nix the whole time. And I'm like, dude, you can just say, we got Bo Nix. He's our quarterback. We're going to develop him, put a positive. Don't make it seem like, I always wanted Bo Nix. What are you talking about? That's like the Bears saying, I always wanted Mitch Trubisky. What do you mean? We made a mistake. Of course we didn't get Mahomes. Of course we wanted Mitch Trubisky. Of course. Dude, don't deny it. But it is obvious that Bo Nix, by many experts and commentators and YouTubers like you and I, we knew that Bo Nix was the last of the quote-unquote good quarterbacks in this year's draft. And you knew just how quickly they were going, even though Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy and even Bo Nix were all projected to be second-round picks. But when I got closer to the draft time, team says, we need a quarterback. Get him. It's too early. It doesn't matter because he won't be there when we get a chance to pick again at like 36. So Denver had to roll the dice. and they got Bo Nix, and we'll see what happens. But I'm telling you, I am rooting for Bo Nix. There's just something about him that I'm just like, I like his swagger. I like his pick. And I have to trust that Sean Payton knows what he's doing. Or we'll come back here next year and be like, Bo Nix was terrible, and now Denver is sitting at the number 1 pick in the draft, and they're going to draft, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Keep that in mind in case that does happen. If that does happen, keep that in mind that I said it first. Anyway, so they took care of the quarterback, and then they did nothing because they had, like I said, they had to get the quarterback because the next pick was at 76 in the 3rd round. So with the 76th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jonah Ellis, edge, Utah. I like this pick. With the amount of, they got Bradley, they had Bradley Chubb, they had DeMarcus Ware, they got Von Miller, they had all these pass rushers, and then out of nowhere they have none, and they had nobody. Now, I'm not a fan of the 3-4 defense. I'm not a fan of the 3-4 defense. I think Denver fits better with a 4-3. I think Ellis is a great pickup. I think he's a dominant defensive force on that defensive line. He's currently viewed as the backup to Jonathan Cooper, but like I said, I like him better with his hand on the ground than on the edge. But I thought he was a big disruptive force for that Utah defense, which praise Utah and God bless the Pac-12 that it no longer exists. It's gone. So I feel like, on paper, they did similar to what the Vikings did. They got their quarterback, and they got their future defensive star. Both, by the way, are meant to sack quarterbacks. That's kind of a funny coincidence there. But I feel like on paper, Denver got their quarterback. It may not be the one you wanted, but they did get a quarterback. And they did get someone to sack quarterbacks against Herbert and Mahomes and Aiden, but mainly Mahomes and Herbert. So at least you can say they are trying to counter their nemesis in their own division. So I like the pick, and to keep going with supporting the picks you got, with the 102nd selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos selected Troy Franklin, wide receiver, Oregon. Bo Nix got a teammate now. Now, this is mainly for the Miami Dolphin fans out there. Do you believe that when Tua got Waddle, you think that their chemistry was already established, or it took time, or it was like it's there, but they just perfected now in the NFL? Because I want to know if, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, did their chemistry connected now that they were teammates, they were successful teammates together, and now they're joining forces in the NFL? I always find that very interesting to know if that's really, a factor, or is it just, it's a nice story, but it's not really how it works. But I'm going to believe in fantasy and say that with Troy Franklin and Bo Nix teaming up in their rookie year, they will develop together and they'll become the new tandem wide receiver core of it. He is also a now, because I am pushing the fact that with Cortland Sutton, or a veteran captain of that receiving core, Franklin will develop quickly enough and be able to be Bo Nix's go-to receiver moving forward, and it was at least someone he can trust, because then Troy will know how Bo Nix operates under duress, under pressure, when he rolls to his right, when he rolls to his left. Troy could be that, I know how Bo Nix adapts, and I can adapt with him because we were teammates for years. That's where I choose to believe in fantasy that it will work that way. Anyway, going to the 5th round, with the 145th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos selected Chris Abrams Durain, cornerback, Missouri. Let me take a look at my notes here. I have questions about this pick, Denver. Unless he's hurt. Pat Surtain has surpassed expectations. I believe he has. Levi Wallace is your starting left corner. But our boy Chris here, he is projected to be your 4th. He picked a corner, and he's projected to be 4th, according to the mock. according to the projected depth chart. On that regard, I just kind of help but feel like, so could it be just in the situation where he's too far in the depth chart to make an impact? He might make it on special teams, but I don't know how soon can he get himself, acclimated into the defensive schemes and packages. I mean, he's a corner, and corners are definitely more valuable at teams when it comes to defensive back department. So, for all I know, Chris could be riding the sideline all season, and just because he's so far, all depends on his development in preseason. We'll see how much he can develop so quickly. But if this projection is accurate to a degree, Chris might just be one of those players that he never got a chance on the field because he's so low in the depth chart that he goes somewhere else. So I'm gonna put him as an else. I think he might go somewhere else. Now that could change, obviously. When I do my preview, I'll probably do my preview recap of them and see how much have they improved. But Chris is probably elsewhere more suited. Now back to positivity. 2 picks later, in the 5th round, with the 147th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos selected Audric Estem, running back, Notre Dame. Now, he is currently projected to be 4th. I think he's going to be a now. Now you might be thinking, well, you just gave the corner, and I'm like, no. He is a power back. He is one of the few power backs that we have in college football today. This guy screams, he reminded me of Brandon Jacobs. That's what he reminded me of. A big guy. He's not going to do all the catching and the screen passes, but he wants to run the clock, wear down the defense. That's your guy. This guy, I just feel that he will definitely be utilized in situational purposes, probably his first year. But I am telling you, you got Johnson Williams and Sammy Pien is still playing. I did not know that. They'll be your 1-2 punch. But I'm telling you, if you want to wear down the defense, he's going to be your guy. The sooner he gets acclimated to the system, or even do a heavy packet formation, this guy is going to be a beast for the Broncos. I feel it about he is my gut pick. He's the pick I feel that, one, wow, he went this low, but two, I'm like, I feel something about, there's something about, I just feel it. So Denver fans, keep an eye on this guy. There's something. Hopefully, I'm knocking on wood. Hopefully he will make some big play in preseason to showcase his tenacity, his determination. He is probably, like I said, I feel a Brandon Jacobs with him. Not the main back, but definitely warranting carries in defense against defense to slow down the game and eat clock. I'm telling you, watch him. I feel it in my bones. Then the Denver did nothing for about a round, and then in the 7th round, the last 2 selections, with the 235th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos selected Devon Bell, wide receiver, Utah. Hey, John Ellis, you're another teammate. Wow. We got Oregon, Utah. Man, I almost had a bingo here. So I'm going to be that guy and say we have another young receiver joining in. Besides Cortland Sutton, does anybody else really feel Denver Broncos receiving corps seems a little, lacking in, consistency and support besides Cortland Sutton? Josh Reynolds and Marvin Mims Jr. are viewed as the other starting receivers, so they're going with a 3 receiver set, 1 tight end formation. So depends how you're viewing about our boy Utah. I still say he's an else though, because he might be just a little too far back. He is competing with other receivers that probably have way more upside than him, but we'll see. Because there are some receivers that I like on teams that you like them, but there are times where you found out like, oh yeah, he's on the team, or then you find out I haven't seen him in a while. This could be a case where I don't see this guy in a while and he might just disappear into the background. But we'll see what he does in preseason, see when he makes some plays. But right now, I'm going to put him as an else just because he might be too far down the depth chart to make a significant impact. That because I feel like teams will probably keep more defensive backs than receivers, in my humblest opinion, when it comes to plentiful. I mean, you get your standard, 6 or 6, but in case you need more, I feel like DBs might get more, in my opinion, than not. At least I will go to get more DBs than receivers, in my humblest opinion, because I have a tight end and running back that I hopefully can catch. So therefore, I don't need to spend too much on my receiving core. And then the last pick for the Broncos, in a way, with the 256th selection, the 2024 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Nick Jargilo, center, South Carolina. Okay, he is fourth. He is a 4-string center. He is way far on the depth chart, but he is viewed as potentially able to go to left guard because he's also projected here as a left guard. So, for the sake of defending his honor, I'm going to give him still an else. Still an else because he's so far on the depth chart. He's still third on the guard position and fourth in the center. We'll see if he makes the practice squad, what he does on the preseason, but he could just be a case where we have too many players and we had to make cuts. So he has to make a drastic jump. Yes, he's a 7th round pick, and I'm not criticizing because he's a 7th round pick, but it's just that feeling of you may be good, but you need to surpass veterans or people who have played longer than you to try to make a roster spot, and he might be one of those cap casualties type thing where we just have too many players. I'm sorry. So he may ride the bench, he may ride practice squad, and he may lead to elsewhere, but that's else. And that's the Denver Broncos pick. Grade, not yet. Denver's not yet there. Not yet there. Whatever record they had, I don't have my notes in front of me. Let me see here. Let me see. Denver was 8-9. Probably seemed roughly the same. The record seemed better than I thought. 8-9 probably might be the same thing for them. I feel like they might be better, but not yet. Not yet to be considered a playoff-bound team. If they win 9 games and still make the playoffs, good for them. But I'm still thinking, you guys are not there yet. Especially we have the Chiefs and the Chargers ahead of you. I don't see it. So sorry, dude. That's the Denver Broncos. So the AFC West is over. Now we're going to the NFC West. And the team we're going to start with the NFC West, like the Chiefs, we're going to talk to their team they beat in the Super Bowl in the San Francisco 49ers. And that will be for our next time as we go to the NFC West. Until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.